Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is Josh and I run the GPU Abuse website and gaming channel. Today we are talking about the Raidmax RGB Fans, also known as the RGB N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, A120R3s. Now, since that's a mouthful, we're just going to refer to them as the Raidmax RGB Fans. For now, that works out, but if you visit raidmax.com, you'll notice that they actually have quite a few RGB fans in the works. So this is the one that's officially released as of right now, recording today's September 24th. So if you're watching this video in the future, check out their website. They might have the other fans available. But before we start this video, I do want to let you know that these are not Aura Sync compatible. This does not run off of software. This runs off of a power supply header. So if you're looking for an RGB fan that works with Aura Sync, these are not the ones that you want to buy. But if you're wanting to wait and wanting to save some money by purchasing through Raidmax, they do have Aura Sync compatible fans on the way. So if you can wait, you might want to wait, and we'll definitely be reviewing those fans somewhere down the line as well. And before I get too far ahead of myself, I also got sent over some RGB strips from Raidmax. We're not going to be reviewing those in this video, but it does appear, and so I might as well talk about it a little bit. And I do have the Raidmax website pulled up in front of me to help me out with some of the specs. Although I'm a computer genius, right? I do not know everything, so I am going to use the website for a little bit of help, so I can give you guys the specs. Those of you who are interested in the more in-depth specs, I am going to give those to you, but this video is mainly going to be me telling you why I like these fans made by Raidmax. So first things first, these fans are the same exact fans that come stock inside the Raidmax Alpha Prime. So the case that I'm using right now is the Alpha Prime. It came with 3 of these fans built in, so that's really cool. If you're looking for a RGB case, I did a review on that I don't know how long ago. If you search on my channel, you can find it, or if I remember, I'll try to link it, but I probably won't remember. So this is the one that came out of the case, and the ones that you see me unboxing in this video are already inside my PC, and we'll show some footage of that a little later on as well. But I'm going to be using the one that came in, the Alpha Prime, as a visual aid because they're very similarly constructed. So without further ado, I'm just going to read off some of the specs. So RGB colors, it has a bunch of different modes from gradient, flashing, and breathing light mode. Kind of your basic RGB modes. They have one that's flashing, bing 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 bing, one that's breathing, wow, jiffy that one up, and one that's just a solid color, bing, and then one that color shifts. So red, blue, yellow, you get what I'm saying. Optimal cooling is their words, not mine, and that's when they talk about the shock pads. These right here are the shock pads. They're made out of a little rubbery consistency material, not very soft, but it does make a difference. As you can imagine, say you have a hard surface, right, and another hard surface. That makes a lot of noise, right? So this fan's spinning, it's giving off vibrations. It's in your case, it's vibrating in your case, right? So that's what's causing a lot of that noise. With what these rubber pads do is it helps cancel out some of that noise. Now, given these aren't the most silent fans that I've ever owned, these are actually not very silent. They're not loud. Like if you guys listen real hard, you might be able to hear it. Maybe not. If you heard it, let me know in the comment section, but they're not overly loud. Like I can totally tolerate it, but they're not silent. It's kind of a trade-off. You get beautiful RGB for a little bit of little bit of noise, but these shock absorbers definitely help. So that's what they're talking about on the website, and it really does help. Specialized golf ball skin-esque fans designed to dissipate heat. So what they're talking about there are these little dots, okay? If you look closely, there are dots inside the fan, and you can actually feel them. If you stick your finger in there, you can feel them, and it feels a lot like Braille. So if any of you have ever messed around with Braille, you know exactly what this feels like. It's nice. I don't know if that's offensive, so I'm gonna stop, but that's what it does feel like. And supposedly that helps spread the heat out so the fans stay cool. No pun intended. I don't know if that really works, but I want to tell you something that's not listed on the website that these dots do help as well. It's the lighting. So for me, I could care less about the whole, spreads out heat. When the lights shine through these little dots here, it gives off a pretty cool effect, and that's kind of all I care about at this particular moment. My system's nice and cool. Whether it's due to these particular fans or not, I don't know, but I know that it looks really cool shining through those dots there. And then, of course, it says relax and adjust the RGB fans with a wireless controller, which you guys have seen in the beginning of the video. I showed you all Raidmax RGB products come with that controller. I don't know if they will in the future with OraSync. I don't know. But here's the actual specifications. Fan speed, 1200 RPM. So that's your basic fan speeds. The noise level is 23 dBA. I don't know what dBA is. I know what decibels are. Don't know what dBA is. Airflow is 32 CFM. Again, I don't know what that means. The rated voltage is 12 V volts, maybe? I don't know. Rated current is 0.23 A. Is that amps? I don't know. Rated power, 2.76 W. Watts? Don't know. Connector is a 6-pin, that I do know, and the fan size is a 120 by 120 by 25 millimeter. Your basic fan. This is your basic fan here. The only real special thing that makes this stand out is the RGB, which you can see if you look back there. There's a little hair right here too. Don't worry about the hair. But you can actually see the RGB lights. It's really cool how these look. Again, if you look at my original Alpha Prime review, I do show off the RGB there. And at the end of this video, you'll see a little bit of the solid light colors. It looks really, really cool. So I'm glad we got all the specifications and stuff out of the way, because now I can finally give you my overall opinion about this here fan. You do get 3 in a pack, so that's cool. They are cost effective, so that's cool, right? You're thinking everything's fine and dandy. Well, I do have a bone to pick with these fans. So let's start off on a negative, right? Looking at this fan, it's your basic fan, like I said, right? But for newer builders, this could totally make or break you, okay? Especially if you don't know what you're doing. There is no indication to which way the air is flowing. I've looked everywhere. Maybe they do have a little indicator, but I cannot see anywhere. Normally on fans, it has an arrow facing either upwards or downwards, showing you which way the air is feeding through. Because I'm sure most of you know, but fans can either exhaust air or intake air, and that is very important when making a build. Everybody sets up their fans a little bit different, but me personally, I like to have my front fans as an intake, my back and top fans as an exhaust. It all depends on the build. I might do it a little bit differently depending on the case and what all is in my system. The size of a graphics card could even affect airflow. Everything can affect airflow. So you want to face these accordingly, right? But how do you know what way the air is flowing if there's no indicator that I can personally see? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I didn't see it. The only way that I know of that you can test the airflow without the arrows come on camera, focus on me. The only way that I know that you can test the airflow, right, being really up and personal with you guys, is to plug this fan in, right, blink, plug it in, and let it spin, give your hand a good old lick, and put it on either side of the fan. You should feel a little bit of a breeze, a nice tingly cool breeze, if the fan is blowing into your palm, and that will tell you whether it's blowing or pulling air through. Exhaust, intake. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a new builder, you could accidentally place this fan backwards, and that could affect your temperatures. A backwards fan can really do some damage, not physical damage, it's not going to damage anything, but your components will run hotter. So that definitely is a con. Now for us experienced builders, you do the whole lick your hand trick, but you know, maybe not everyone knows that. Not everyone watches my channel. You kind of, I don't want to say you get what you pay for, because although that con, I put a lot of effort into that con, expressing that it's not really that big of a deal. That's not gonna break it, you know what I mean? Because this fan does perform extremely well as a fan, but it's really special because of the RGB. The RGB is what makes this fan. The price point is what makes this fan. I love Raidmax because they make great products for budget people like me. If you're trying to save a little bit of cash, Raidmax, that's your way to go. Raidmax. That's the only thing I can personally say. So now that I've really rambled on fans, let's go ahead and talk about the RGB strips, and then I'll show you some of that cool footage that we promised in the beginning of the video. The RGB strips come in, they give you 2 strips in one package, but those 2 strips are connected to each other and you can't disassemble them. So you're gonna have to get 2 strips. Not that big of a deal, right? Not that big of a deal. I personally love it. They give you a ton of cord length, and I put one on the top, one on the bottom, and then you know, I already had one from before that I put on the back, and it's just all RGB'd out. That's really the only thing I can say. It connects, the RGB strip connects very similarly to how the fans connect, right into the power supply. You control it with the same Raidmax controller. That's really all I got for you guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I will definitely be checking out future Raidmax products, including the Aura Sync compatible fans. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Shout out to Paul at Raidmax. You are awesome, brother. And yeah, enjoy this footage, enjoy this night, day, whatever it may be. And as always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. How do you like my new microphone stand, by the way? And whatever. As always, I hope to see you next time. Adios.